If you wanted to learn how to eat, the average doctor would say, go listen to the top nutrition expert, right? But I'm going to say something that might sound crazy at first. If I wanted to learn how humans should eat, like truly understand it at the root, I'd listen to hunters and gatherers. Not because they had podcasts, not because they had macros, not because they had an air fryer, but because their food choices had consequences immediately. Before we jump in, what's been your source of the best nutrition advice? Now let me paint the picture. If you're a hunter and gatherer and you eat in a way that makes you sluggish, weak, inflamed, or foggy, you don't just power through a meeting. You miss the hunt. You can't track. You can't carry. You can't protect your people. And if you can't do those things, you don't eat. This is the most brutal, honest feedback system ever created. Meanwhile, today, if you eat in a way that wrecks your metabolism, you can still survive for decades because you've got caffeine, comfy chairs, ultra-processed calories on every corner, and medications that could prop you up for a long time. And just to be clear, I prescribe meds. I use modern medicine. If I break my leg, I don't want a motivational quote and a stick from the forest. I want an orthopedic surgeon. But if we're talking about how to eat, modern society has created a weird situation where we can ignore the consequences for a long time until we can't. So why listen to hunters and gatherers? Because they had three things modern eaters don't have. Number one, their incentives were aligned. Nobody was paying them to promote heart-healthy neon cereal. Nobody was whispering, try the new low-fat sugar loaf. It's doctor recommended. Nobody was making a profit off their cravings. Their incentive was simple. Eat in a way that helps you thrive. And when incentives are clean, advice gets clearer. Number two, their food environment didn't sabotage them. Hunters and gatherers didn't have 24-hour snacks, engineered bliss point foods, liquid sugar, healthy foods that require a barcode scanner to interpret. They ate real food, whole food, food that looked like something. If the ingredient list needs a paragraph break, that's not food. That's a chemistry project with a mascot. Number three, their lifestyle matched their biology. They moved naturally. They had daylight. They slept in rhythm. They had community. They had purpose. And I'm not romanticizing struggle. I'm not saying we should go live in the woods. I'm saying our bodies were built in one environment, and now we live in a totally different one. That mismatch is at the root of a lot of chronic disease. Now, you might be thinking, Doc, are you saying nutrition professionals and doctors don't know anything? No. What I'm saying is modern professionals often inherit a broken system. Doctors, for example, are trained heavily in diagnosing and treating disease. But most of us get shockingly little training in nutrition compared to how much nutrition drives chronic illness. So a lot of clinicians do what they were taught. Follow guidelines, follow standards, follow what's considered safe. But guidelines can lag behind biology, and oftentimes guidelines get influenced by industry politics or outdated assumptions. That doesn't mean every guideline is evil. It means if we want root cause healing, we need guidelines that are evidence-based and address the root cause. Here's the big question. Who would you trust more to teach you about eating? Example A, someone who studies food in a world where food has been engineered, marketed, processed, sweetened, and weaponized against your appetite. Or, example B, someone who lived by eating real food with real consequences in a system that punished bad choices immediately. Now, before someone clips this and says, Dr. Hampton says ignore science, let me say it clearly. The best approach is not ancestral or modern. It's ancestral and modern. Hunters and gatherers give you the blueprint. Modern medicine gives you the measuring tape. Blueprint, real food, nutrient-dense, high satiety, minimal processing. Measuring tape, labs, blood pressure, waist size, fasting insulin, A1C, triglyceride to HDL ratio, and yes, sometimes a continuous glucose monitor. Because here's the truth, your body keeps receipts. You can argue online all day, but your blood pressure doesn't care about vibes. So what would a hunter-gatherer informed way of eating look like today? Let's make it practical. First, prioritize protein and nutrient density. In most traditional societies, when they ate animal foods, they weren't picking the lowest fat, driest, saddest version. They ate for strength, satiety, and survival. Protein supports muscle. Muscle supports metabolic health. Metabolic health supports everything. Second, avoid foods that hijack hunger. Ultra-processed foods aren't just calories. They're appetite hackers. They make it easy to overeat and hard to stop. If you've ever eaten chips and suddenly the bag is empty and you're looking around like, who did this? That wasn't a moral failure. That was food engineering. Third, respect carbohydrates like a powerful tool, not a default setting. Hunters and gatherers ate what was available seasonally and geographically, not unlimited sugar year-round shipped from everywhere. Today we live in a carb buffet with no closing time. If you're metabolically healthy, you can tolerate more carbs. If you're insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, diabetic, or struggling with weight, you may need a lower carb approach to restore normal appetite signaling and insulin function. Fourth, pair food with the lifestyle it was designed for. You can't out-supplement poor sleep. You can't out-medicine a daily soda habit forever. And you can't out-willpower a kitchen that's set up like a carnivore. This is why I teach root cause habits. In fact, that's where my NEST acronym comes from. Nutrition, exercise, less stress, more sleep, and the right mindset or how you think. Because food doesn't work alone. Quick pause. If you're getting value from this, hit like and subscribe. I make videos that cut through the noise and focus on what actually drives chronic disease at the root. And it helps this message reach more people who feel stuck. Now, here's the part that really matters. This isn't about shaming modern professionals. I work with amazing dietitians and clinicians right here in this clinic. This is about upgrading the lens. Instead of asking, what's the latest diet trend? Ask, what kind of eating pattern would make sense for a human animal with this biology in this modern environment? And then use modern tools to personalize it. If you lower carbs and your triglyceride drop, your HDL improves, your blood pressure improves, your energy comes back, your cravings calm down. That's your body voting. If you eat so-called healthy grains and you're hungry every 2 hours, gaining weight, and your A1C is climbing, that's also your body voting. Your body is always giving you data. So yes, this theme works, and it clicks because it's a pattern interrupt. People expect a doctor to say, listen to experts. And then you say, I do, but I also listen to the people who had to get it right to stay alive. That's not anti-science. That's pro-truth. And if you want to continue to learn how to achieve metabolic health, consider checking out the video right here on the screen. And subscribe to the channel right here. And in the comments, answer this. If you could apprentice under one person to learn how to eat, who would it be and why? Because the most powerful diet upgrade isn't just changing your food, it's changing your framework.